Your swafa or no share apomdi and sense.
Asra Jumeko no Edia Betuja, say Ura Richard Jakpa, Bra no way or Sereni no, the Jumadi be Ankoye, and written Asra for no Epamono for Jumekunum. Also for Shim Crossing Krunkuma and some so local government minister say contractor for the Jumama say Manteman to Munijma or no, or Momo and Yaha. One of Kabi womb bumble from Wodinaye and Nimkonya said you may just social who is soon Jimapa. Ebe fana ntuma padi fra ewo my Ghana emu. Ene betra se atwetwe nkomo na yahwe so o my Ghana ikoku ehun sem ekose kwan ben kra na ye fa so na yetuyama aso enya no dodo so ebadwedwe ekua ye ho ensem so ye din sem bai medin edi anim ado mene Sadat Mohammed afi ranse no na ye ko asemdibia Ghana court batan atenase edi asema efa ambulance a yekoto ho na susu se omanya kwakoboka mpanifo bi edi anim no na omohihye antumi ankoine no na ne court no eko asemdi eno ensem bi ebepie edwa se owura ahiagba na court okan obi omudi na asem no du ba bi asra adom ba bi no ye adwuma no omo epam no nti na ehia se obi bedi adanse de no na ekomodo nana edugyanfi ebedi adanse na osan kasi su se yampa owura we no eyade a police soldier adwuma no eyi na mkire owura jakpa no police adwuma no eyi no ebra share no se omra emedi adanse no to che se enye ne pem no de gya adwuma no eno echi no commander edu jamfi omugya na no ekoye na asam no nto aso no sese bia kwa kodun se owura Alex Segbafia kane no esoafo abedi ekire ohwe sabre no ya asoafo a ohwe yapomdi ensem so mche se brebe so a ono so ebeba no ba bidi adanse sanso na CDS General Lieutenant General Thomas Opompepra omochese ono so ebrebe so na owura Segbafia no July busunda etoso adunumienu na fi owura Opompepra enso ene Andus KK Kofi onso da waso omko asemdibia na omo ekocheche omo nsemu ebo asem no busumi de etoso aduonu enum na omo akọ na we na temuafo te asemi so Justice Efiasewa Asare Botwe echiremu se Nu Zakaria sabre no director ama ambulance no ono so beba na oba be chireche ensemu ansana uye echire na ukọ chiamehina owo mrahye bedwam a ura Kingsford Bagbin onso omuchirese 2013 no yo soafo a ohwe yapomudi ensem so to no so ebrebe ba ono so ebefre no na baba be kire de onim efa sansem we hu ewo asemdibia na sansem korea ho no wabra court ekọ asetena no se Ghana fo be kaya June busome ne da ne toso aduonu nso na Deputy Attorney General owura Alfred Tua ye boade betu dwa so owura Jakpa ekura mpa wo court no brebi atwambu na asra adwumako ne pamo ne sanse na odi ne kure emfa ma asra adwumako no owura Jakpa yi ano se enya ne kure da na ne court asetena mu no chochorofo edema military high command Ghana Armed Forces na edugyenfi wo hwe omo krata ho nsem so de krata dodo na bepie mu asem di bia wo kire mu se owura Richard Jakpa so ko gina ba bi kasa asrafo ampam no de ne pagya ya na ne kure bia enim.
This is a report that was written about an officer's conduct. When you write such reports, we don't copy him. Before this letter will be written, or such a letter will be written about an officer, the officer might have gone through interviews about certain things that he might have done, he or she might have done. So it's upon consistent, probably advice or interviews. That is when this paper is generated. So when it is generated, it has a purpose. And you look at this paper from Army Headquarters to the Chief of Staff. The Army Headquarters signed by Major General, Brigadier General, for the Chief of the Army Staff. Sending it to Chief of Staff. Meaning that from the unit level, things might have happened. The service headquarters wouldn't get up and write anything about an officer and just send it to Chief of Staff. So things will come from the service headquarters. Consistently, if you want to report from the service unit of the officer, cannot even generate this paper. Upon consistent, persistent, whatever, offenses, cautioning, interviews, whatever, that is what will culminate in this kind of write-up. And the officer will not copy.
So, from your testimony you have just given, in paragraph 1 of Exhibit EF2, where it indicates that the third accused has been guilty of fraudulent conduct. There will be evidence in your records of the interviews and the processes he went through in respect of this fraudulent conduct. Is that correct?
It will, my lady. It will be at the officers' unit. The details of whatever went on will be at the officers' unit. So after persistence or interviews, then the unit will write, probably through the command. So if the unit cannot even write directly to the service headquarters, they have to write through the command. If it's in Southern Command, if it's in Central Command, through Central Command to Army Headquarters. So those details will be at the unit level, but will not be at NS level.
So, insofar as the accused is concerned, what unit would that be? The third accused.
Also for share on my inkrasi and inkrum kuma and to tear so say any tenebeya ebitum pon so honorable Martin Eje Kosa and some ato contractor for hodo moye inyuma ewo municipalities and district hodo mu HSA omuyo na omuma omunamo muto enye ntem bra omuye adwuma ewo nkrasi inkrum kuma mu senebeya omuso inyuma ebekoyi ediamo sanse adwuma ma omo na so manye ntama eya eno edi ohaba we eye bra na odadwedie bi edi ewo Kole Clotte ene Ablikuma North ena odinsem we eto contractor for anim
Oswafo wo hwe nkronkuma amamu ni hompuntu nsem so. Onimunyafo Martin Eje Mensa Kosa ene mpanyufo mu free na so yenim e de omani kwohwe dwumadi ahodo omoye e wo mensinim honom. Ebi ye odo market no omoye wo circle no. Na afei prechifo suku anu so mu sise de be ya adwadifo ma omowo mala market ne impotemu ebetimi de omoma akọ no mabro mu didwa. Ne ho na swafo yi echire mu se adwuma ne de se de ekọ nani nye ho nto obesre se ne manimu ya contractor ne ma ne ho nye ha no muntimi bibia emadishi
so ye kan ye ho na ye wi adwuma no adwuma we a long behind schedule time and as en adwuma ye wi na deliver ache for baby na sikama enti we are hoping that between now and the next couple of weeks ebeti ma wi na ya hand over na o ma use wudum se adwuma die ye didi aha ye di aban adwuma die wo ha umma boka kra ma me skills ne containers and wall enti obi o to obi ebe ina firo why you be a few way eja dey say echo dodo na bebe adwuma ha no bebe nkwa ho hia chemba akofo a obe bibi na akofa ha obi di aba
Mensini krache wo Kole Clotte ni Ablikuma North mensini mu enso nsema a okan yini
me kra asensi me betu adwuma we so unsa che ente say hwe na dey say na me so adistre me betu mu enim ni say emprepi no say omo encroaching no na intruders no I say more point out to them say the omo ye no eno bi ka ho na ye nyama ye wo Ghana no ayese na aye no
o assurance dey as I say wo ho because yanya kire mo de enye no e so mbe dey assurance dey assurance na say e be ba ha no na omaye so omo de omo tiba ma assurance e ba no mo nye ya so ati ase ba to mbe me hope say e ba ombe
ne krakra mu no project consultant nso e can say
Mr. said we should he gave us end of July and actually our target has also been same because Ejuma cannot be our as you can see a few touches here in the power connection and then the water connection and they are all on site already it's a matter of just tapping into them in the order we are almost done.
Empenifo kan bi ewom ewo bambo hu nsemu eye African Peace Mission wo ne Ukraine Peace Formula ene ku ahodo asinkunya to adwenkwampo befa so bibrem ye bambo hu nsem befa no ntoma pa ede afira nuclear safety ena human rights nyina no tenase a odwendwene ho
African Peace Mission any Ukraine Peace Formula ede dwumedie sronko ahyehyɛ so we no kasa ho dwumedie a ombetimi afa so ahwekwan a ombetimi aboban na entokwa hodo ekoso abibiman any Ukraine honom no ano etimi abrase na animdefo ene mpanyufo mudi akotene yie we abibiman mu ni Europe man mu no ebomoden ekopie dwumedie no asibi na ho ene wo mo kasa ye ne bi.
The issue of conflict and what is happening now in Ukraine is just an example of what we as Africans experience it. So when we sympathize with Ukraine is because we have been experiencing it for a very long time. We are bothered, especially when it comes to children, because what Ukraine is going through now with the children that have been abducted from Ukraine into Russia, it is a similar story that we have in Africa. We know about the Boko Haram situation in Nigeria, where children were removed from their families or their homes into different regions. We also know about what happened in Liberia. We also know about what happened in Burkina Faso and currently happening in Sudan. So the issue of conflicts and children involved in conflict, or the children suffering the consequences of conflict, is not something new to Africa, but it's something that reminds us of a painful experience that we had and still have continuously in the continent. So our support for Ukraine is more not within the lens of the political dynamics that play out in that space, but more in the space of looking at the fact that children are not involved in the conceptualization and implementation of wars, but they suffer the massive consequences of what is going on. And if we have to be intentional about the fact that children should not be the consequential damage of every war, then we have to support every country that is facing this situation. And now we have children from Ukraine, we have children from Palestine, we have children from Sudan, we have children from Nigeria. So there's a continuum of this, and this issue needs to stop.
So basically our aim in this war, this is our war of liberation, is to restore the territorial integrity of Ukraine, to keep our independence. The question how it can be done, frankly speaking, and it's very tough for me to talk about it, because so far Putin do not want even negotiations. And what we demand from Putin is to withdraw Russian soldiers from Ukraine. He doesn't want it. He would like to annex more and more Ukrainian territory. And finally, to change the government in Kyiv and transform Ukraine into a puppet state. It's publicly said by Putin, by his followers, so that's why we are talking that this is our war for our existence as a nation.
Abayima form war on my Ghana mu ewu ku eye Queen Mother's Foundation na odan woni kire offenso Kaira Obayima oho edi nsem ato amanyofo ne o my Ghana ma anim se yinyina yenyere ye ho nsentrofo eka ho bi sene be ya ye kasa eho ebeti na enkofa ha bi ema ebra ye bobo ye ho kwakoto aba ebra ye to ne ato awie sene be ya o my Ghana ebetena se asomdwe we eye bra omo ke bi ewum efa asomdwe ni abato ho nsem wo so ehia ekyerechera adwe eno de nsem we eto o my Ghana.
Dealing with hate speech, false information and propaganda as we approach Ghana's 2024 elections. We need to protect the fairness of our elections from these threats. Hate speech and false information have harmed democratic values in many West African countries, including Ghana. These harmful messages spread through social media, traditional media, and word of mouth, aim to destroy voter trust and create conflict among our citizens. As citizens and protectors of democracy, we must face this challenge directly. Fair elections are essential for our democratic system, ensuring that people's voices are heard and respected. Today, we gather to recognize the dangers of false information and propaganda and to show our commitment to protecting our elections. We must fight these threats together. My problem is the propaganda. That's my problem. Hey, me pass me says what boy take that. Eti, ya one ya said here. se betimi aboa amasa hate speech nkwala no at the end of the day na nkwala no ye umbegeni etie nyina ya said yes e was saa de no ye jai tie dia media me appeal to government say saa de so wo kwa bi obetimi apaso amasa ye be ye elections say saa de no media ne TikTok no so obetimi aye ho bibia on ka ponya ho bibi any media for me ati wa ye di timpen for atem no the sabai so ono so on farm one adwene no on stop saa de na so dwiemra e ba ye ma ye timi tumika please ye to na draw pharmacy shop dem to draw pharmacy shops dem ko peace draw nya bi tie nyina ye ka ho na fe no ye ma so dwiemra elections paper e na toka who ya wa and just said what you would some Mumia and Cabo. We are the Hodi Kotopa said, MPP and this one. What will you say?
Fango Boako Sro and International Kafonka Muku Hodo and Sway and Sena, which be Simono, Ashentia Bu, Pejum, Alco Hamutimu, Edunum, Nagana for Akasafa home.
Concerned Drivers Association Aboamanie say nyame adoma adwada July bosomide etoso aduonumienu ekono omo beto lorry femu ohanchichemu edunum esanse omo se fango boa yedin spare parts bonzo so muntimi nto na we nanam so amagana de hyede adesrede esronko akwa mampanyufo se 15% eye ohanchichemu edunum a omo de atoso no omo nteso anase omo twentwen so kakra.
I feel like it's a bit selfish, you see. Thinking about themselves, I get the spare parts and then fuel and all that. It should be on a 50-50 scale, passenger and then what they call it, a driver as well. So 15% is a bit too much.
On my best sound padia, a bit hard draining kakra. Cause it's your man wired. Sisi Juma ye na lolfe na jiscan. Be be Juma dia maka sana bi akwatina. Baby ujina na hwa na ujina. Nti yasra ban se o mommo dia na ja. One shana one ye be being found. What you man a young tumo, baby, I would jana no jam, but in your sky, as an church I name any no answer you're too fair. So say I saw Sunny 8 year no yen Sam Panko because I signed to my uncle with your very hand. No, yes, from my onion siphon. Watch it.
The master ban is a son of Mukasa. It's an Mutumu and Mutumunche and a damn Chebeba. And at least. I'm about to cry no more shake a crack.
And Johnson Pack on Kansuna, Yanancy. So many the Modi and I say any reka. Eh, Cassa, and Cobabia. Bomby the Modia. Said drivers need pack back on cars no mere the Muna filling stage will be a metopetra. Omubat so.
Sabi, I have to fool him. A man saw a day. Yet to fool my son a passenger phone a driver focus and nobody did drive of Fatemano. I have a Pomochomunia Botre. Now I had Jumano. Eh, the I'm paying for no more said Jumano. Don't beckon a fan, I had driver for him to make cash.
Awe kase bono esi kwase bono sise no kwamwatene enimado enim penifo besim konwa na wadwendwene Ghana ho nyi wafidie ni mfiri ha etwe ho na yabasisi a